Fabric from the land of the five rivers.
Beatsmith Music.
Hey, the Raiders win, baby. Hey,
that's right, man. Hey, Raider Nation, stand up.
Hey, that's a 3-game win streak.
Hey, that's a big one, man.
3-game win streak. 3-game win streak, man. Davante Adams, man. What can we say about this guy, bro? He's one of the best receivers in football, if not the best. Future Hall of Famer, man. I could see it, man. Like the Raiders made a great trade. That trade even looks even better. There's a lot of things you can say about Dave Z, about his. Hey, today Dave Z moves kind of look good today.
Hey, first and foremost, Keenan Allen, where you at?
Facts.
Where you at?
100%, man. And today is going to be a live stream for the fans, for the Raider Nation. I mean, we fans too as well, man. Richard Lyons in the building. What's going on, man? Now entering the Ferris Tune Facts. 100%, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. Hey, Robert Penny has a message for the Chargers, man. I see you.
Everybody better keep that same energy too. All them Chargers.
We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going, man.
Yeah, keep it coming. Hey, how does it feel, Chargers, that every single time you play the Raiders, we take you out of the playoffs?
Let's go, man. Hey, man, the Raiders are getting hot at the right time. I mean, obviously you want them to get hot first game of the season, but hey, I think you were hitting me. I don't know if you know a little bit more than me. I would have to look at it after a game. But a lot of the teams that we were looking at last night's stream about who would we need to lose in order for the Raiders to get to playoffs, because obviously the Raiders got to win out in order to make the playoffs. But if certain teams lose, we just heard Lamar Jackson. I think they're one of the 6 seed, 7 seed. I think 6 seed. Did the Jets lose? They lost against the Vikings.
Titans lost.
Let's go.
Everything fell in our favor today. I mean, you lost the war essentially with the whole Lamar Jackson hurt issue, but hey, moving forward, I fully expect them to drop a couple games. So hey, look, man, big win, and this one feels good.
Facts, 100%, man. What were like things that I'm about to watch this game again, man. I'm like, this is one of those games you got to watch again, especially when the Raiders win. You got to make sure you see every little thing. But what's something that caught your eye during the game?
Defense. The defense's ability to get after Justin Herbert. They gave you the opportunities, right? They're beat up at the center position, the right tackle position. And man, can we just acknowledge the man, Chandler Jones?
Mm-hmm.
We have a Chandler Jones sighting today. Jerry Tillery played big. Max Crosby, I know it didn't show up in the sack category. Effort was absolutely outstanding. This defense showed up. And outside of the touchdown to Keenan Allen late in the game to give them a little bit of hope, man, they held that man in check. They kept him quiet. He was quiet all game.
Luis Lopez in the building. Appreciate you coming through. He says that bobble in the end zone would have put the game away, along with not getting 2 feet in.
Yep.
Hey, man, I can't get mad at Davante Adams when he puts the number. I gotta pull up his numbers in a little bit. But at the end of the day, man, just win, baby. That's all that matters.
Man, let's go.
That's all that matters, man. Just win, baby. And that's what the Raiders are doing. 3-game win streak. Davante Adams he's playing like the best receiver in football. Like, man, when's the last time we've had a player of his caliber at the receiver position? We've always hoped, we always projected players, we always kind of Denarius Moores, all these receivers that come and go. Amari Cooper was supposed to be that guy, but he ended up getting traded away. And then, obviously, Michael Crabtree, but his ceiling was always a number 2 receiver. He was Derek Carr's number 1, but he was always a number 2 receiver. But Davante Adams is a true number 1, and he's proven it every game on Sunday. It's like, man, he's someone that we can count on, without a doubt, like a guy that we can count on every game, man. And we're going to shout out, hey, man, come on, we whole show, this what we going to be doing.
Yeah.
Every time someone pulls up, we're going to be doing this, man. We're going to do this. I'm straight on the building. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate, okay, I got you. I got you again, bro. Al Ghost in the building. Great team win. Facts. Great team. Yes.
It always feels good to knock the Chargers off, man. It always
Jack
feels good.
Bauer in the building. Great win. Great win. Great win. Great win, man. Hey, man, I'm just hyped because everything that we've kind of projected on this team before the season, we're kind of seeing it on the field. You know what I mean? There's some kinks that they got to work out, but guess what? On offense, it's really Davante Adams and Josh Jacobs. You guys got to remember, Renfro and Waller are hurt, and they're pretty much Waller saying he could come back this Thursday if the Raiders let him play.
Exactly. And pick your poison right now with this offense. What a time for him to come back. It's not like we need him to come back because the offense is lacking. Matter of fact, it's complete opposite. This offense is rolling at this point, and now you're just adding another playmaker into the mix. This is big. Now Derek Carr can go through his reads, not have to just solely focus on Davante Adams and the receiving game. Now he's got a little bit of a security blanket in Darren Waller. Hey, Raider Nation, man, don't blink. The Raiders aren't dead yet.
Yep. And Mike Culler says DA is the best receiver we ever had, and that's big because Tim Brown was the man.
Yeah, I think ever. I mean, when you're talking about talent alone.
Man, I can't go at Tim Brown like that, man. But hey, man, it's tomato, man. Exactly. You got. To me, obviously, Tim Brown's a Hall of Famer. You know, what I mean, he has a gold jack already, and I think that's where Davante Adams is headed pretty much. Like he's greatness. You're just seeing greatness. We're kind of expecting him to make those one-hand catches. We're expecting him to make these crazy catches. Almost like every time he has the ball in his hands, I know that he's gonna make the first guy miss.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
shout out to Jerry Tillery too, man. He showed up, especially in the first half. Like this defense was cooking.
Man. Appreciate you coming through. Raider Nation, come through, man. We celebrating today, man. 3-game win streak.
Facts.
Kurt Lomas, Raiders. Hey, we got you. Hey, you know, Curtis, you make a very good point right here. Chandler High Stakes Jones, a great time to show up. This season. How many? I don't know if I know he had 3 sacks at one point. Did he get more?
Sacks. No,
did he get more? And 3 sacks plus deflections, getting pressures. Hey, you called it. You called it when you said the pickup for that with that former Charger.
Yeah, Jerry Tillery.
He might be helping this D line like that interior pressure, but also Andrew Billings is playing big. You got we got number 91. I can't come to my mind right now. I'm super excited right now. Bilal Nichols is playing well. You know what I mean? That interior, the level of play is increasing, and guess what? It's making it very easy for Max Crosby to do his thing. And today it was Chandler Jones Sunday. Did Cleveland Farrell get a sack? I think he got a sack too as well.
Oh yeah, they got in there. I think he got half a sack.
He got a half a sack. Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Ty that Raider, man. Appreciate you. All love and respect, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. Man, I'm excited, man. Look, hey.
That Josh Jacobs touchdown too was literally picture perfect from the Seattle overtime run as well. You get Mac Hollins on an inside block. Jakob Johnson.
Hold on 1 second, Ray. Go ahead though.
Jakob Johnson hits the hole, gets a hat on another guy. Man, it was a perfect reminiscence moment of the play in overtime. Man, this was a huge win for the Raiders. Raider Nation, y'all should stand up and be excited, man. The Raiders are right back in it, everybody. 5-7, and the Raiders are back in business. Look, you've got the Rams. After that, you've got New England. Like, these are winnable football games. 1 game at a time, though. Let's be excited today. Let's have victory Monday. And Tuesday, we need to have our eyes set on the Thursday night matchup and get ready to go again.
Yeah, in the building, man. He says defense. Hey, defense showed up today. Like the offense was basically Davante Adams and Josh Jacobs. Let's not forget about him, man. The dude is money every Sunday this season, man. He's one of the best players, probably the best running back in football right now. You can make a case for him. But defense showed up today, man. The pressure that they were getting. Nate Hobbs, man. Nate Hobbs playing well. Should I go ahead and pull up the stats here for the let's go ahead and give me just a second here. Man, I know y'all excited,
defensively, offensively, this offense is starting to click. Defense has been playing with passion. I mean, you see guys on the sideline like Max Crosby getting his teammates involved, firing up, getting them ready to go. Obviously, the addition of a Nate Hobbs in the secondary. Nate Hobbs played well for coming back and missing a lot of time with the hand injury. Hey, man, Amik Robertson stepped up. I know he led up the touchdown to Keenan Allen late in the game. But
Yep.
outside of that, man, the defense as a whole, the secondary did a really good job containing Palmer, containing Carter, not letting those guys get behind you. And the Raiders continue to put a hat on this defense. They continue to make a wall on the back end of this defense to where people aren't getting huge explosive plays down the field. And you've got to love it. You have to love the defensive effort. Shout out to Patrick Graham for working with less is more. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's playing. He's big time right now. Let me pull this up right now. Can y'all see it?
Let's see here.
Can y'all see it? Is it showing on the screen? All right, perfect. All right, y'all. Look at this, man. Look. Team stats. 386 yards is a lot of yards. I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot, man. And Herbert, man, I'm not gonna lie. That's a special quarterback, man. He was making crazy throws, especially that one to Keenan Allen at the end when he's on the run, throwing on the run. Oh, man, he's a nice quarterback. But the Raiders had, can you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
All right, so we got total yards, 404 yards. We got more yards than them. Passing yards, obviously Chargers were trying to come back because we were up big at the end. We kind of pulled away late. But look, this is a big stat right here. 154 yards.
Bro.
The Chargers were struggling in the run game this season, and the Raiders capitalized today.
Hey, not only that, but it felt like Josh Jacobs wasn't even – I mean, he wasn't running at the percentage that he was in the Seattle game. And this man, I mean, we were still able to put up over 150 yards on the ground. It was special. Hey, it's always a good sign in the second half of football games where defenses are picking themselves up off of the ground. It looks like the weight of the world is on their shoulders. They're mad. They're frustrated. Hands are on their hip. They're pointing at each other, yelling. I love to see AFC West rivals upset in these second half games and the Raiders finishing out these games.
Facts. And I think a little bit of today, Josh Jacobs, obviously, like, he's dealing with his calf injury. So we kind of seen a few plays where I'm kind of looking at like how the Raiders were trying to attack the Chargers defense. They're trying to spread them out. I'm like, what's going on? But then I kind of thought about it, like, maybe this is their way of kind of like easing up the load for Jacobs. Even though he's playing in the game, they just want to make sure that he could stay healthy and finish the game out. And it worked out, man. It worked out. Look at this. We got first downs. They got us by 2. 5 for 16 on third down, but we weren't that much better. 3 for 10. Let's see.
Yeah,
here.
today we were not winning the ball consistently on first and second down, and we talked about that before the game. Is first and second down is crucial for this offense.
This is a big key stat right here.
Exactly.
Big key stat. How many times we see Carr back there and
clean pocket,
clean
time.
A lot of time. I remember one of the key plays before the first half ended, where Carr literally had all day to throw, and Davante Adams made one of the cornerbacks for the Chargers fall down and get like a big play. We didn't end up scoring that, but it set up like almost a 50-yard money field goal for Carlson. But obviously he missed it. But 5 sacks though. You know what I mean? Look at that right there. 3 of them from Chandler Jones. That's huge.
Oh, the whole game, man. You could just feel it. You could tell that Justin Herbert, that internal clock was getting shorter and shorter and shorter. But the Raiders started it off with the very first quarter, the very first drive of the game. They pinned their earbacks. They let you know that, hey, this is going to be a long game for you. You're going to have to earn each and every single yard. And man, he did. I'm curious to go over. I'm curious to see the Charger stats. I'm curious to see what Justin Herbert did. 335. Okay, he threw the ball almost 50 times though.
Yep. So 28-47, 335. So it wasn't really an efficient game from Justin Herbert. And then you had, look at it, the run game was non-existent. But this is how the Chargers play. They like to pass more than like to run. Maybe that's
to their own demise, to be honest with you.
Exactly, especially when the O-line is injured and battered. You would think that they would probably lean on the running game just a little bit to ease it up on Justin Herbert.
Hey, they do Austin Eckler a bit of a disservice. The dude's got a lot of talent. In a game like this, you need to be able to lean heavily on a guy like Austin Eckler.
Oh my God, especially when the Raiders linebackers are struggling in pass coverage.
Exactly.
Why are you not getting Austin Eckler in space against these linebackers?
But But this was an issue that we talked about in the pregame live show. A lot of the Chargers fans are not happy with Joe Lombardi. He's doing a ton of checkdowns, almost limiting the talent that Justin Herbert plays with, the ability to stretch the ball down the field. They've done a ton of checkdowns. They're first in every single category when it comes to receiving running backs, yards, touchdowns, completion percentage, everything. They're number one, and it's because they're checking the ball down so quick. And you can also make the case, hey, are they checking the football down so quickly because Justin Herbert just does not have time?
Facts. And let's go back to the barbecue chicken, man. He had
call him out.
88 yards, 1 touchdown. It's a solid game. I'm not gonna hate on it, but he wasn't
really, it was one.
Didn't have an impact. He didn't have an impact. No. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like he had an impact. He had that touchdown grab, but that was a crazy throw by Herbert.
Hey, 3 of the 4 catches before that were all soft zone into the second half. So that's when he started getting some receptions. And then I would say he honestly had one big play, and that was the Amik Robertson touchdown. And look, Amik Robertson was all over it. It was just a heck of a play by Keenan Allen. But hey, where you at? Where you at, Keenan Allen? I love all the noise that this Charger fan base came, even on the video that I dropped yesterday, talking about Justin Herbert's going to shred the Raiders defense. Keenan Allen's going to go put on a show. We've got receipts. You need to go keep that same energy, because this is the second year in the row that the Raiders have taken care of business, and it has diminished your playoff hopes. So, hey, let's just move on to the next one, man. We got the Chargers out of the way, and it feels good.
Facts. And let's look at the Raiders stats here. Look at Derek Carr. He wasn't really that efficient, but if you think about it, Derek Carr overall struggles against the Chargers. Half of his interceptions have been against the Chargers. You know, obviously he had 3 in the first game of the season. He had 3 interceptions, and then today he had a pick 6, which should have been a PI in my opinion. I don't know. That was just me. It is what it is. But that being said, the recipe for victory for the Raiders is Josh Jacobs getting over 144 yards.
It doesn't even feel like that, though. That's what's crazy. It didn't even feel like that. But look at the carries. This is something I want to highlight. Remember when everybody kind of, gave me that weird side-eye look of like, hey, 25 plus carries. He's sitting at 26, and look at the number that's next to 26. This is what happens when you feed this guy third quarter, fourth quarter. Big things start to happen, and those defenses, they don't want to tackle him anymore. They do such a job of stopping him in the first half that comes second half, they don't want to tackle him.
Zamir White, do you want to see these increase a little bit? You want give him like maybe 5 carries? You know what I mean? You never know. He might.
Yeah, I mean, you could take that one away from Amir. You could give him at least 5 carries a game, and I'm comfortable with that. But dude, I'm telling you,
I like him here in the pass game, though. I like him in the pass game.
I do.
He's really solid. I think he's been a good pickup for this team in that area. A good third down back. But man, the star of the night, man, the star of the game, MVP of the game, man. It's either Davante Adams or Josh Jacobs each week on offense, and this week it was Davante Adams. I mean, you could easily say Josh Jacobs, but Davante Adams, man, 8 catches, 177 yards,
and it could have been 3 touchdowns. Man. I mean, he dropped one in the end zone. Like, he put on an absolute show today.
Man, 22.1 average, man. Think about that. 22.1. He's every time he has the ball, it's a big play waiting to happen. 2 touchdowns, man, and he gets open so easy. He just makes it so easy out there, man. And hey, he's worth every penny of his contract.
Oh, 100%. He manipulates defenses so well. I mean, his ability, man. I mean, he was doing stutter steps, attacking the middle, planting his foot in the ground and driving out. Like, it was just special to watch. The setups that he does is just elite level route running. I mean, I couldn't imagine lining up against him. Everybody from here on out that's lining up against Davante Adams, now that him and DC are really generating chemistry, hey man, you got to make sure you do your homework, and you have almost 2 guys over the top with some help, because he's going to put you on skates. He ran a nasty route at the second touchdown, made his defender fall in the middle of the field just because of the footwork. What a show Davante Adams put on today.
Hey, Foster Moreau, I like him. He's a good, solid player. He's a solid player, but he's not a starting tight end. You know what I mean? And he just can't be out there catch. I just can't wait for Waller to get on the field. I know Waller was having his struggles during the season, but we see the ceiling for Waller. We've seen it already, so we know what Waller is capable of. We know what type of player Waller is. So if he can come this Thursday against the Rams, you know what I mean? Just have a little warm up game. Like I can see. Look. Obviously, it starts with Jacobs and Adams, and then just sprinkling Waller. and then replace maybe or add to Mac Hollins and Renfro, because these guys are not on the field right now. And the Raiders are like on offense are moving the ball with ease. And we talked about this yesterday. Like Dave Z has a tough decision to make in the offseason. Because obviously we have to keep Jacobs. But in order to keep Jacobs, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. Someone's going to have to take a pay cut, or someone's going to have to get traded. If they're not going to take a pay cut, they're going to have to figure some things out. Let me get to the chat, man. Let me remove this real quick. Man, I'm just excited, man. Oh my God. Kurt Lomas. Okay, this one we brought Tim Brown, Jerry Rice. Last time I've seen great receivers. I mean, Mark Cooper and Crabtree were good. There were some good receivers too, but obviously Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, they're Hall of Famers. Chance Worthy in the building. Appreciate you coming through. I know I'm behind right now. Did he have 3.5 sacks? Whoo, man.
That's what I think that's what he has on the season. Man, I could be wrong. Maybe he did get in on that half sack. I know he had 3 for sure.
Yeah, he has 3.5 in the season. You talking about Chandler Jones has 3.5 in the season for sure, because he had a half sack coming into the game. 3 sacks today, 3.5 on the season. That Way podcast. This fan base pathetic. Josh only have been out coaching one game against the Saints. Players.
Hey man, we just want to see wins. That's it.
We want to see wins because we were concerned. I was concerned about Josh McDaniels, because at the end of the day, one of the biggest question marks going into the season about Josh McDaniels, and you can make an argument, is was he a leader of men? You have former players that played under Josh McDaniels literally saying that this guy lost the locker room. He's not a good leader. So obviously, are you going to list someone that actually had experience with Josh McDaniels, even though that was 11, 10 years ago? Lots changed since then. But I'm hoping I hope I'm wrong. You know what I mean? And it looks like it's for right now, it looks like I'm wrong about Josh McDaniels. He has the guys playing hard. He hasn't lost the locker room, man, especially when you got leaders in that locker room like, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams. Man, right? Like just like I said, feels good, man.
It does, man. It feels so good.
Oh,
hey, I see they said we haven't mentioned Chandler Jones or Jerry Tillery. And at the top of the show, man, we acknowledged it. Jerry Tillery, since the emergence, and we talked about it on the preview show, since the emergence of Jerry Tillery, it has helped everybody on this defensive line, especially the bookend guys. You get a guy who is able to rush the passer from the interior of this defense. And make no mistake about it, Jerry Tillery is not a world beater, but he can give you good, competent, consistent pass rush from the interior, especially taking advantage of a Chargers team that was missing their starting center. Jerry Tillery, man, I talked about it on our show. He was one you have to watch this game because he allows those bookends to really pin their ears back, and we've seen it happen today. So, yeah, shout out to Jerry Tillery and shout out to Chandler Jones. We finally get an emergence. Let's see if he can build off of this and keep it going until the end of the year.
Facts, 100%, man. Van City in the building, man. Raiders, we got the dub for the newest member of Raider Nation. Hey, congratulations, Van City, man. I know you had your first child, man. Congratulations to you, and got his first W. Hey, man, you're having a great 2 weeks, man. You went to your first Raider game last week against the Seattle Seahawks, and they won with a game-winning touchdown with Josh Jacobs. Then, obviously, first W season for your child, man. That's crazy, man. Hey, man, you're having a great 2 weeks. I'll say that. Ben Fields, let's go, Raider Nation. Finally, our defense showed up and showed out. This is a great team win. Great team win. And this is great to see, man. This is progression. This is the team getting better. Bourbon Country Raider in the building. There was nothing Amit couldn't do on that play.
Sticky coverage. He was there. He was in it. Hey, I loved Rocky Ya-Sin's celebration.
It was a great throw.
It was a great throw.
There's nothing you could do. Sometimes there's great offense. Sometimes beats great defense sometimes.
Hey, did you see Rocky Ya-Sin's celebration on Keenan Allen when he got that PBU and he lifted up his shirt like he's like on his hip, like showing his hip? Oh, that was nasty.
Man, we got people showing up, man. Look, hey, man, I know I'm behind in the chat. Yeah. Hey, man, it's a great feeling. Raiders on a 3-game win streak. We were thinking the worst. I'm not gonna lie.
3 weeks ago, bro, it was season's a wrap. Let's look at the next quarterback of the future or Jalen Carter at 3 or 4. Now we're on a 3-game run, boy. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the thing is that like we were thinking the worst because we felt like, moving forward, how can you bring back Josh McDaniels after the season? But if the Raiders finish strong, even if they don't make the playoffs, because everything has to go right for the Raiders to make the playoffs. They have to win out, teams have to lose, and then maybe we have a chance. But even if we don't, it kind of, it gives you a little bit more I don't want to say it like that because there's no such thing as moral victories. But at the end of the day, like it gives you a little more hope for next year. Now you can build off this season. Now there's no excuses next year. You know what I mean?
And if this young core of this defense, the talent, right, can really mold and stick together right now, and when you start adding talent to this defense, what is that going to look like under Patrick Graham? Because right now these guys are flying around making big time plays.
Mm-hmm.
I think the core of this defense is crucial.
Yeah, man, and they need to bring back some of the players that are playing well. They need to bring them back. You know, I know this defense still they need talent. They got some holes, but you still have to bring back the players that played well in this system because it kind of fortifies that foundation, and you're able to build off that. And you could just all you got to do is add it. It's easier to build or have players come in and be successful when something's already established.
You know what? I really like this short week for a reason, because if the Raiders can go out here and get a win against the Rams, that means the Raiders are now tied up with the Patriots, Chargers, all those teams that are sitting right there in the hunt. The Raiders are dead even with them heading into Sunday's games. And if those teams lose, if the Patriots lose and the Chargers lose, the Raiders then get bumped up. You see what I'm saying? So, and especially if the Jets can go out here and lose, because they had White throwing the ball 50 times today. It's not a recipe for success in that offense. So, hey, man, I'm just saying there's a lot of things that could happen.
Hey, man, we got Raider Gabe in the building, man. Appreciate you. Subscribe. Make sure to subscribe, man. My guy over here says, let's go. Just win, baby. What up? Pharaoh NFL and Raider Ray. Big ups, gentlemen. Smoke out hour 520. Stop by if you guys have. Hey, man, I might be able to come through. I don't know if Ray has some things planned tomorrow. But after this, I'll come through. I'm hyped, man. The Raiders won. It's great to see, man. Anytime the Raiders win, it's always a great feeling. But let's get back to the chat. I know. Hey, I seen that Marty Mart, Jimmy G's out for the season, broken.
Hey, how does this all fall in the Raiders' favor in 1 week?
Hey, we played the Niners this year.
We played the Niners honestly, we need that big win. That's a big win if we can go out there and beat the Niners, because then that's heading into the KC game.
Mm-hmm. Facts, 100%, man. Jimmy G's out for the season, and that's a big impact. Just the fact that we played them this season. Who's going to be that third string? Because they're on their third string quarterback. Because Jimmy G was the backup. I know Trey Lance was the starting quarterback this season. He's out for the season. They have bad luck at the quarterback position, man. It's crazy. I seen that too on the TV right now.
The Raiders are getting healthy at such a good time when all these teams are starting to get major injuries. Lamar Jackson with a knee injury that seems to be semi-significant.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy G's out. These are all teams that we have to play yet. You know what I mean? The Rams put 3 of their stars potentially going to be out on Thursday. Man, like everything is right now, at least it's looking like it's in the Raiders' favor.
Van C says we can get Waller and Renfro back against the Rams. I don't know about Renfro. I haven't heard anything from the Renfro part.
I haven't either.
But I've heard Waller just in a recent interview with Heavy.com. He spoke to one of the writers, and he pretty much said that he's ready to go. He's pretty much at 100%. It's really on the coaching staff and how comfortable they feel bringing him back after. But he hasn't played in a while. Usually they need like maybe a week after they're activated. You know, Hobbs had a week. I'm assuming Waller might have a week. He has less than a week if you think about it, because the Rams game is on Thursday. So we'll see. If he plays, I'm hyped. Either way, the Raiders got to be feeling good, because Davante Adams and Josh Jacobs are the best at their positions right now, and they're backing it up on the football field. And the Raiders are playing off them, and it's working. And shout out to Max Crosby too. Austin Martinez says, Pharaoh, you need to clip up that part where Max Crosby slapped Herbert on the ass. I didn't see that. I got to see that. And hey, yeah, I might.
He winded up. He winded up and smacked him, bro. Like he came all the way back with it. He said,
"Hey, that's hilarious. I did not see that, man. I had a lot of things going on during the game."
Justin Herbert tried to play it cool, like he didn't feel it. I'm like,
hey, Alfredo, damn, no Jimmy G, no. Yep, exactly. Chandler Jones too. What you mean by Chandler Jones, Cashler? I appreciate you coming through. Yeah. Hey, player of the game. We can all agree, player of the game on offense, Davante Adams, even though Josh Jacobs had 144 yards. But that's how big of a game that Davante Adams had. It was clear cut. And then on defense, Chandler Jones, man, he finally stepped up. He finally looked like a guy that deserved that contract. You know what I mean? And all it took was Tillery. That's all.
Watch him have these type of games to finish out the year and finish like only a few sacks less than Max Crosby.
With your line, you're saying player of the game has to go with Chandler. How do you feel? Who's player of the game to you?
Oh, I mean, who was the dagger? I mean, like MVP of the game. I my personal opinion, it's got to be Davante Adams. I think that man put on a show today. So, for me, I'm going Davante Adams. But defensively, I see what you're saying. But hey, I mean, I wish I could divvy up this award on the defensive side of the football because a lot of dudes played really good football. I wish I could give a piece of it to Max, a piece of it to Chandler. I know Chandler got the 3 sacks, and everybody's excited and fire up about it. But there's a lot of guys doing their job that allows Chandler Jones to go out there and have that kind of success. And you got to give a shout out to the guys on that interior. Also, being able to hold Austin Ekeler, we talked about it in the pregame show. 10 carries for 35 yards is crucial because if Austin Ekeler got going on the ground, this would have spelled a long day for the Raiders defense. So the run defense, this defensive line, it all starts up front, and the Raiders got it done today.
How crazy would it be if the Raiders make the playoffs this year? Like, this got to be 2 years in a row where we're like literally the roller coaster.
I don't think it matches per se last year's run.
Oh, last year was crazy.
That was its own issue. However, like if you can go out here and make a postseason appearance under starting the year 2-7. 2-7. Remember all those statistics we were bringing up as the Raiders were losing games, and you're like, hey, look, Raiders got like a 3% chance to make the playoffs. And we talked about if they could do it last year, let's not just completely write it off. So, hey, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Cool Kev, Chandler and Tilly set the tone. He agrees with you. Castro, y'all ain't mentioned his name once. We did, man. I don't know how long you've been watching. We did. Chandler Jones. We were talking about how he had 3 sacks.
Yeah, we pretty much opened up the show with him.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Yeah, Chandler Jones, man. Like finally, you know what I mean. And you know what? He's been playing well before this game. He just didn't get a sack.
Yep.
And I think the last few weeks, especially, he put some good games. Especially last week, he was pressuring. I think I was watching the game. They were saying that he had like 8 pressures last week, which was his best game of the season.
He's been just this close so many times this year. And who knows? I mean, the guy could have been dealing with injuries or maybe this is just the progression of the defense and guys are settling in and people are emerging on the interior of this defensive line. So there's a lot going for the Raiders defense right now, especially what's really making me excited is the lack of talent. You know, the Raiders have moved on from a lot of guys. Guys have gone down with injuries. And now the depth of this Raiders defense has been tested, and there's a lot of guys playing good football. I mean, Amik Robertson this season has stepped up in a big way. Sam Webb is playing decent football.
Yeah.
I mean, Roderick Teamer's come in and try to compete. Luke Masterson. There's a lot of guys stepping up that's getting playing time that probably wouldn't be getting a lot of playing time on another team.
Yep. And GA Patriots in the building. Appreciate you coming through. Look at the past several seasons. Chandler Jones is good for 2 to 3 games a season. Ooh.
Wow.
Is that a shots fired right there?
Fired. That's a shots fired.
That's a shots fired. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's get him.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. We have to allude to that. I mean, you kind of felt it, right? He was almost due for a type of game like this.
Because last season he finished with 10 sacks and 5 of them came in one game.
Yeah, in week 1.
You know, so he does like as of recently he does do a disappearing act, but hopefully it just keeps going up for him from here on out. So I'm happy. He showed up, man. I was waiting for it. I think Raider Nation was waiting for this to happen. And you know what, Max Crosby, I got to look at the final numbers for him as far as like his pressures. You know, you don't see that until after the game, but watching the game, just watching it, hey, Max Crosby was an impact too. He had like that. I think he had a forced fumble.
Yeah, the very first play of the game.
Exactly. And his impact is huge. But sometimes, even if he doesn't get the play, he's causing other players to play better. You know what I mean? He's making other players better around him because he's getting all that attention. And then cool kids put some respect on Mac 10. I don't know, man. Hey, Mac. Hey, he's solid, man. He's solid. He's having another player that Derek Carr is making. Having another player under Derek Carr is having a career year.
And he's gonna make some money too.
I'm just saying, it's just a trend. We got to respect it at this point. Another player plays for the Raiders, plays under Derek Carr, and is probably gonna get a bigger contract. You know, and it's
probably gonna happen again next year with fill in whatever player.
Right. And all eyes says, yeah, Chandler has one big game a year, man. I hope it's. Hey, how many games left? We got 5 games left. The Raiders got
Yeah.
five games. I hope it's 5. I hope it's 5 games, man. And this would have been DC's second game when. Hey, I know he had it. He had it. You know, Devontae had it.
It was. Yeah. This would have been back-to-back 3-game touchdowns, man. That would have been huge.
I'm saying, man, I want to see what this offense looks like with Waller, because now it's established.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's no question who's going to get the ball. No, Devontae Adams is going to get the ball. Who's going to run the? No, Josh Jacobs is going to get the ball. And then sprinkle in play action. Darren Waller. You got Renfro. I just can't wait for them to come in because they don't have to really. There's no pressure on them.
Nah, and I love where Josh McDaniels is right now calling plays too. Like you've seen Josh Jacobs struggling to get the game going, so they're like, all right, let's switch this up. We're going to get Davante Adams involved in the game. And as soon as Davante Adams started getting involved in the game, they started relying back on Josh Jacobs, and things just started to open up. And once Josh Jacobs started going after you got Davante going, that's why this Raiders offense is so fun to watch, because pick your poison with coverage. Because if you're going to commit to stopping the run, and we talked about it, they were going to load up the box. They're a struggling run defense. They're going to force Derek Carr to make big-time throws to beat them.
Right.
That's what the Chargers have shown in recent years. Hey, and when you do that and you put single coverage on a guy like Davante Adams, or even put a safety over the top, they did a really good job also of nullifying Derwin James. I think that goes unsaid too.
Facts. And Bourbon, hey, man. Bourbon Country Raider says, I'll take Morrow over Waller. Waller's heart is not in football. Morrow is a better blocker and consistent in the pass game. What? Hey, shots fired. I'll give you the shots fired, but then also I got to give you one of those. I don't know about the consistent in the pass game. There's nothing in Morrow's history that would tell us that he's more consistent in the pass game than Waller. Waller has 2 years of 100 catches. Waller has consistently been a number one option for this offense. Obviously, he's not going to be a number one option when Davante Adams is on the football field. His heart is in the football. I don't want to make that. I can't say that, bro. I can't say that. I think, it's just a case of him. His body's betraying him. He's not on the but and he needs to play better too. It just is what it is. I can't really question him like that. I haven't seen anything that would tell me that, Waller doesn't care. You know what I mean? If that was the case, the Raiders would have been traded him. They would have traded him in the offseason. They would never gave him the contract. They would have traded him during the deadline. I'm just saying.
They had a second-round pick on the table. And they know. They know the Waller behind the scenes. So Foster Moreau, too, to just kind of talk about the blocking aspect, I think in this system he does really, really well. It reminds me similar, kind of like John Gruden, a run-heavy type of approach.
Right.
And you want those inline blockers at the tight end position. And Foster Moreau has come leaps and bounds this season when it comes to blocking. Now, receiving, it's not even close. They're not in the same ballpark when it comes to receiving options. But that's not to say that Darren Waller has not developed as a blocking tight end. Not to say he's on Foster's level, but he has gotten a lot better from when he first suited up in the silver and black.
Right. And then GA Patriot, is Lamar out for the season? I don't know. I mean, I know, Ray, you hit me up. You said that he hurt his knee. How bad did it look?
So they were saying he's day-to-day to week. So he's not out for the season. However, there's no guarantee that he's going to come back for the next game or even possibly the next couple games. So we're going to see, man.
Right. And Robert Penny is cracking up. Barbecue chicken Allen, man. Hey, man, we got the W. The Raiders got the W. That's all that matters. He can talk all that mess he wants, but he just got some garbage time touchdown. If you really think about it, they're up. The Raiders are up 14 in the fourth quarter. They got their little touchdown. Herbert made an amazing throw, and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, the Raiders got the dub. That's all that matters. Nate Hobbs looked good out there. The defense. This is kind of a sneak preview. I'm not saying I still need it. There still needs to be some talent added to this defense. But when I say sneak preview, this is how the Raiders could possibly look if they added some more talent on defense. This is how the Raiders would look if they're a complete football team on a consistent basis. And because this was a complete win at the end of the day, man. Defense and offense.
Man, is Josh McDaniels like digging in his offensive tool bag a little bit?
Man, hey, you know what? He's figuring out what players like he's figuring out the roster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it seemed like he didn't know what to do with Waller or Renfro and Adams all in the same field. He was like figuring that out. Now he knows what to do with Adams. He knows what to do with Josh Jacobs. Now when Waller comes back, when Renfro comes back, hopefully in time for the Raiders to finish the season strong, hopefully win out. You know what I mean? It's a lot of hope. I know. But this is better than where the Raider Nation and the Raiders were a few weeks ago, where we thought the worst. We thought that, you know, McDaniels wasn't the guy at head coach. We thought Carr, we need to draft a quarterback, and we probably do need to draft a quarterback for the future, but that's a different conversation for another day. Derek Carr is playing solid out there. And Mike Guerrero says, salute to the pen. I love being a Raider, man. Hey, man, this for you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. Hey, man.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you where you sit right now with this team. I know 3 weeks ago, the whole Josh McDaniels situation, and we alluded to that. Patrick Graham, what direction are we going? All of that being said, all the rumors about the locker room, all the drama, with how the team has responded and going on a 3-game run, winning 2 big-time divisional games, and also beating a good Seattle football team, are you comfortable with this coaching staff staying in place, building around them, keeping Patrick Graham? Everybody stay, and then you just completely build.
For right now, yes, but I have no choice. Mark Davis came out and publicly supported Josh McDaniels, so he's here to stay. He's going to stay another year. You know, in the beginning of the season, when the Raiders were 0-3 and everybody was just like getting on Josh McDaniels and his team, I was kind of like, hey, at the end of the day, like coaches in their first year don't really have a lot of success. But that being said, I kind of changed my tune when I felt like he lost the locker room, which he didn't. It was more of a player type of situation where, you know, his players had problems with other players in the locker room. I don't know. You know, who knows? Well, the truth will come out as the season develops. After the season, we'll know exactly what's going on with the locker room. But that being said, everything seems to be fine. The Raiders are winning. The Raiders are playing hard. I love the energy on the football field. It seems night and day from how it was in the beginning of the season. Even when they beat the Denver Broncos, I was still like, you made a comment. I remember it was post game. You didn't feel like the locker room was really excited. But then when the Raiders, I don't know what it was. Was it Mark Davis? Like I brought up before, I said, was it Mark Davis publicly supporting McDaniels and the players just turned it on, or was it Derek Carr?
I think it was the players buy-in. I think when they actually rallied together and when they came together and played as a team, they won. And I think the light bulb kind of clicked on that, hey, when we play for each other and we play together and we stop listening to the noise about the coaching staff or Mark Davis or anything and just focus in and focus on our small details that the coaches are telling us, if we go out there and execute that at a high level, we can go out here and win football games together and silence everybody. And I think that's what they've done for 3 weeks is they've focused on the small details and realized if we play together as one unit, the chances to succeed are pretty high.
My guy Silver Surfer in the building, he says that this coaching staff isn't going anywhere. Hey, they're not
for it.
Yeah, and I don't even want them to get rid of Patrick Graham. You know, some people kind of mentioned that he might be a scapegoat. You know what I mean? Might be Carr, but if the Raiders finish strong, I want to see Patrick Graham with more talent on his defense.
Me too.
Because I got a little bit of respect for him because he got the defense playing well, and he's mixing it up. He's doing it in different ways with different players. Look at Webb. I think the starting cornerbacks for a minute were Webb, Amik Robertson 1 week. And I know Rocky Sin left the field for a little bit. He came back.
Sidney Jones that you pick up off of waivers.
You know what I mean? So, and then obviously the D-line wasn't what they were supposed to be this season. And I don't know if that's on Patrick Graham or, you know, the GM. At the end of the day, Patrick Graham is only a defensive coach. He's a defensive assistant. So he's not the one making decisions on how to build this roster. So Dave Z and McDaniels, I think, got a final say on the roster. And they felt like they needed to double down on offense, and defense got the short end of the stick when it came to getting upgraded.
Yeah, you nailed it on that back end right there. Clearly there was a point of emphasis in getting this offense up to a position to where Josh McDaniels was like, okay, I can do a multitude of things year one and give the ball, disperse it to multiple guys on the field. So he gave himself an opportunity for his offense to succeed. And yes, the defense also got, you know, they got the leftovers. They got the scraps. You know, you had to dig into the barrel a little bit to go out there and find some talent. Mm-hmm. But this offseason, This is going to be intriguing. It's going to be really exciting.
Facts. Circus Raider says, noticed our defense start tightening up after Abrams left.
How about Daron Harmon? Coming up with a big fumble today on Austin Eckler, creating another turnover.
Playmaker. Morrig needs to take some notes, and I think that will maybe come with time, more experience in his defense, a big transition from Gus Bradley's defense to obviously Patrick Graham's defense, where the safeties have more responsibility. And hopefully he's a young enough player where, the Raiders can still keep him around, develop him. And the more you get comfortable in the system, the more you play fast. And I think that's what's missing from Morrig. He needs to play faster. A guy like Daron Harmon, he has experience in this defense. So he's playing fast out there. He's that
playmaker. Who are you bringing back?
I would bring him back.
Who are you bringing back? Because there's a few guys on this defense that you might want to give some small contracts to.
I'm bringing back Billings. I think the nose tackle, I think you can bring him back for a solid deal. I'm not sure if anybody would give him a big contract. I think wasn't he out of football for like a year or something like that? He was hopping around. Like I think the Raiders should bring him back for sure. Specifically on defense.
Yeah. You think Rock Ya-Sin gets a contract?
It has to be a team-friendly contract, because the more I see Rock Ya-Sin, the more I could see his strengths and I can see his weaknesses.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? And when we play some receivers with a little bit more speed, it's definitely his downfall as a cornerback. You know what I mean? And if you're playing teams like the Chiefs, where they emphasize speed with Patrick Mahomes' arm, you know what I mean? That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Hey, I'm curious too. Anybody in the chat, and actually, you know what? I might actually do a quick search. I'm curious to see if the Raiders, when they got Jerry Tillery, if they actually got his rookie contract, or if it just turned into like a 1-year type of deal. I'm curious to know the details, because if so, that means that the Raiders do have Jerry Tillery for next season as well.
I think if they got his contract, that means they claimed him off waivers. If he went through waivers and no one picked him up, and the Raiders picked him up that way, then they gave him a 1 year, 1 year type of deal, finish out the season type contract. But if they picked him off waivers, then depending on what his contract is, though, is he still, if he gets picked up on waivers, it depends on what his rookie contract is. Because I know he was a former first-round pick for the Chargers.
Man,
Matt Meredith says Amik needs to be replaced, man. Hey, man, I like Amik. I like Amik, man.
For what he's asked to do, I mean, outside of the Allen play, he was playing pretty sticky coverage.
And he's a depth piece too. It's not like we're asking him to be the starter. If he's a starter, yes, we'll replace him. No, but that's not what we're asking him to do. If he's like the fourth cornerback off I'm not mad at it. He's not that bad of a player.
Okay. So Tillery is on a 1-year deal with us. The 2 years were voided with the Chargers at the back end of his deal. So he is 26 years old on a 1-year, $912,000 deal with the Raiders.
Okay. Hey, so this is his last season on his rookie deal, or
this is the last year of it? Well, technically, because of the waiver issue. So those last 2 years on his rookie contract obviously were waived by the Chargers. You know what, man? A 1 year, $2.5-3 million deal. I might bring him back. He's a solid depth piece. Still gives you freedom to go out there and add a really good name to the interior of the defensive line. You're not spending a ton of money, and I think he would take a 1-year prove-it deal with the Raiders. I think they gave him an opportunity, and since he's arrived, they've gone on a 3-game win streak. So you can only imagine. I'm sure he's bought in.
I'm a big believer in bringing back players that play well for you, because you're developing that culture, you develop that foundation. So then it's easier to build a team. It's easier to build that sustained success. So, hey, if we can bring him back, if he finishes the season strong, plays well for us, and he signs a team-friendly deal, I'm not mad at that either. I do still think the Raiders need to emphasize that position in free agency, and possibly, obviously, the draft, if they can get a good young D tackle, because when's the last time the Raiders have had that? But
Matthew Butler emerged today too.
Hey, man, and there's still 5 games left, and the more each week goes by, players are going to step up, and it's going to make the decisions for this front office in the offseason. They'll know what to do and how to upgrade it based off how the players played this season. And like you just said Matthew Butler played well. And we got a shot. Ron CIC, man, I appreciate you coming. This is my first time seeing you on here, man. I appreciate you coming through. He says, Palomalu, I don't know if Palomalu is on the same path as Hufanga from the Niners, I believe. Sat out most of their rookie year and called up late and got lots of PT late, man. I hope so, because the guy, I think he had a sack today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a bigger safety, bigger guy. I think he's like 6'3", a big guy. So, hey, man, I hope, man, he could be a player that the Raiders can count on for years to come. But, you know, right now, I think it's just a matter. The Raiders do have an opening in the safety spot, if you think about it, because look, Harmon, he's a veteran. You know what I mean? I don't want to say he's replaceable, especially because he's played big time back there. Like, but at the same time, like, it's still a position where you could probably say the Raiders, because Morgan ain't playing up to par, maybe add some competition back there.
He's gotten better, though. I really do. I don't think he played terrible this game. He really didn't. He had a nice little, he didn't play terrible this game. You're not seeing as many blown assignments as you were early on in the year. And it makes me wonder, has Patrick Graham simplified this with all the guys coming in and out of this defense? Have they just simplified games? Because it just looks like this defense is playing faster and a lot less thinking going on.
Mm-hmm. Circus Raider says, I think we already went through that one, man. Hey, man, my God, the numbers, he just got one thing to say, man.
Just win, baby.
Man, for real, man. That's all that counts, man. That's what matters, because you got Keenan Allen talking before the game, acting like he's about to do something, but he really didn't. It had no impact. He had no impact in the game other than that great touchdown throw at the end. Obviously, he caught it, but hey, we won the game. We're up 14 in the fourth quarter. They tried to make a little late comeback, and it wasn't enough. One big without Billings didn't play this game.
No, he was a scratch.
He was a scratch. He was hurt.
Hurt. Yeah, he was hurt.
Yeah, but I still like Billings. I think they.
I like Billings a lot.
Yeah,
you just add him to the mix. That's what I'm saying. This interior defensive lineman, they've just emerged. They're just playing different. They're playing fast. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Facts, 100%, man. But yeah, man, like, what other thoughts in the game? Like, how did you feel about, like, just the overall, like, how do you feel after the Raiders 3-game win streak?
I'm telling you, I have this gut feeling that this season is I hate to say it, with only 5 games left, but I feel like it's just getting started. I feel like the Raiders, these 5 games are just so pivotal. And if the Raiders can go out here and take it one game at a time, just the next 2 to 3. I mean, you've got the Rams, you've got the Patriots, and then you've got, I believe, the Steelers. And these are all games that are just crucial because the Steelers got to win today. The Chargers and the Patriots were the only 2 teams in front of us as teams in the hunt, and you just got a big win over the Chargers. So you can go out there and really put a dagger into the Patriots season as well. And, hey, the Raiders can go out here and just kind of put the nail in the coffin for some of these teams at the end of the year.
I see a lot of people in the chat talking about the pressure up the middle is making a difference. GA Patriot says this, and then, you know, obviously Richard Lyon right now saying Billings and Nicholas was a great pickup. It's looking like they're playing well. And they put together a few games of actually getting some pressure up the middle, along with Tillery. We talked about him being a good pickup as well. Man, like the Raiders right now, because right now those guys don't even have to play great. They don't have to play great because at the end of the day, like, you have Max Crosby, and if Chandler Jones is playing like Chandler Jones, now it makes it that much easier for guys in the middle to get going. So I just think that everything is just coming and working it and at the right moment. The number
my daughter's walking around the house outside this door right now saying, Raiders, Raiders. Hey, raise them right, man. Raise them right. I love it.
Hey, Brandon Rambo. I know you ain't a Raider fan, but he says, congratulations. Hope y'all keep it up. For Carstick, I would like to see him success in my family. Still like, hey, man, we want Carr to win, but we want the Raiders to win at the end of the day. That's what really matters. But obviously, yeah, Carr's been here for a while. You know he loves the Raiders. You know he wants the Raiders to win his bad. You know he cares a lot. Obviously, we've seen him cry in the press conference. Like, he's taking everything to heart. He's an emotional player. So I hope the Raiders win, and I hope Carr's there to see it as well. But yeah, man, I'm juiced, man. I'm hyped, man. Any last thoughts, man? We just wanted to come here and just have a quick little chat with y'all after the game. It was a great win, great W. Great players step up like Davante Adams, Josh Jacobs. Any last thoughts, man?
Now let's just keep building one game at a time. Raider Nation, have fun, celebrate it, spend some time with your family, spend some time celebrating this Raiders win, and let's put our attention and focus on the LA Rams. Let's go into SoFi Stadium and let's go get another crucial win on a short week. And if we can do that, you guys, I mean, we're right in the mix of being able to make a serious run at the playoffs. I can't believe, just fast forward 3 weeks and we're sitting here potentially talking about a playoff run. 3 weeks ago, we're talking about moving on from our head coach. So it just goes to show you so much can change in a short amount of time in the NFL season. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for spending this post game with us. That's all I got.
Facts, 100%, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure hit the like button. That helps the algorithm. We just wanted to come and chat after the game. The Raiders won big today. 3-game win streak, man. I got to put it out here. Raiders. Enjoy the win, man. Hey, if y'all, like I said, if y'all hit the like button, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. The road to 3K continues. 2K celebration prize giveaway is going to be coming soon. Just be on the lookout. I'll be posting on the community tab and on my socials, so make sure to check that out, man. And also subscribe to my guy Raider Ray. We do a weekly show. We switch off on each other's channels, so you want to make sure you're subscribed to Raider Ray, just like how it sounds. Raider Ray, RAIDERRAY, Raider Ray. Make sure to go over there and subscribe. My mods can make it easy for y'all by posting his links, man. But yeah, Raider Nation, man. Till next time, peace.
The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the 5 rivers.
Just win, baby.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.